Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. This is Julie with JFK Freedom. Would just like to go over this small snippet the Lord gave me about the iron and the clay from Daniel 2:41 through 45, basically. So we'll just go through the verses real quick. Verse 41, And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with the clay. And verse 44, And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. So the Lord, that's when the rock comes and like breaks the kingdoms of the earth, and maybe it breaks the statue in the dream, but I didn't go back and read the whole dream. Um, so the Lord was basically saying to me as a rhema word that the iron is like aliens, and so it's talking about the strength of something alien or demonic, which I believe is like basically something demonic that's entering into perhaps a real being. That's how I view it at this time. I don't know if they can move in and out of our realm or not. I'm not sure on that part. But, anyways, the iron of these beings is talking about the strength of their kingdom. So that's just what that represents. I don't think Daniel is saying it's anything like necessarily good. It talks about the strength of this kingdom will be able to break everything in its path and break things. Uh, I have had some dreams about that type of stuff, so I've seen something similar to that, but I don't think that really fits with what we're talking about here, so I'll leave that to the side. But I think that's why they called it the iron. And then it's also talking about the clay, which would be humans. So the clay represents humanity, and it says in verse 42, the toes are part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong or partly broken. To me, that means that the aliens would be ruling with humans, whether those humans have like Nephilim blood in them or not. That's I do believe maybe so. They have some special blood types, but I don't really know like totally what that would look like. But verse 43 is kind of the weird one. It says, Where you saw it, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. To me, that means like mixing themselves with the seed sounds like genetic experiments, but, and maybe some weird things happening there, but not cleaving to one another just sounds like they're not actually going to get married. But maybe there'll be like offers of like people to like, I don't know, be boyfriend and girlfriend with these things, maybe. I know that sounds really cheesy to say it like that, but I think they'll, or maybe, who knows, maybe they would even try to like get married, but it's saying like that's not going to last. This binding that they may have will not last into posterity. It'll be a short lived thing because the Lord's going to come back and break that apart, whatever that's going to be. So, anyway, whatever it's going to be enough that breaks enough of the world that the Lord's going to decide he needs to come back. So, whatever you think about this last kingdom, it is definitely going to be something the Lord is going to need to destroy because it's going to be corrupt and it's going to be crushing the peoples of the earth, so to speak. So, that's not a good thing because we all know who's been crushed throughout history, and then this go around, it's going to include just everyday Christians as well. Persecution has been going on for a long time, of course, but it'll be sweeping across not just from the Middle East or Africa, but it'll be sweeping across the whole world. It kind of already is, people just don't realize it. So, anyway, some of the reasons the Lord has to come back. So, again, just back to what the Lord said, the Lord did say the iron represents aliens, and I still have yet to look further into that issue, which is partly just because it makes me nervous and makes me scared. But I don't. I'm not really doubting the Lord on this. We're just gonna have to wait and see, and the proof would be in the pudding. So again, food for thought for you today, and remember, God turns darkness into light. God bless.